Hello guys, and we are here today with another very awesome video. We have here a video that I actually haven't done one of these videos in quite a while. A how-to side video. Yes, how-to side, and we are doing this on PSY Frames because they're kind of a very interesting deck. How do you beat them? How do you go about them? And it's really, you just have to know how to play against the deck, and honestly the way to play around the deck is get them to have a monster on their side of the field that they can't get rid of. You can do that. That's really good. If they use one of their PSY Frames and they have the field spell and they activate the field spell, that's perfect time to do whatever you want. You can get rid of the field spell then, and then they can't get rid of their monsters, and then you can activate whatever and set up whatever type of board you want. So you just need to know when they have a monster on their side of the field, that's when you want to make your plays, but sometimes that doesn't work out. So here are just a huge variety of cards that can be used to kind of hurt them, but again, you're just going to try to focus around that. Kaiser Coliseum, if I understand how Kaiser works right, it pretty much says they can't activate any of their PSY Frames as this goes, and you only have one monster on your side of the field. Because at that point, because the PSY Frame monsters don't just summon themselves, they also summon another monster, Driver, and even if they only did summon themselves, like they'd summon a monster from their hand, Driver would stay wherever Driver is, and then they wouldn't be able to do anything, so they'd summon out a monster that would be banished. So Kaiser's a really good side. Of course, it can be negated by Delta, but they're negating that instead of something else. But they also have the trap card to get rid of Kaiser, which is why this should already be in your side because it's good against Necros, and will be kind of good against Monju Spectres because they do have one card that banishes, but I wouldn't. There's better cards to side against Monju Spectres. Pure Iron Wall definitely helps out a lot because it just shuts down this guy, as well as it not being able to banish itself either to search, so it just helps that. Their field zones become dead because now their monsters will stay on their field, so if they don't have circuit, they will stay on their field, I believe. Yeah, and either that or they'll end up in the graveyard. But I'm pretty certain the PSY Frame monsters, if they don't get synchro summoned with, will just stay on the field. So that means you can go off and do whatever you want. They can't use Omega or Zeta's effect, so these guys become pretty much just vanilla monsters, practically. So Imperial Iron Wall is probably the better side, definitely. Necro Valley, it's kind of interesting for this one. But if they have all of their drivers in the graveyard, then you can activate this and be like, no more PSY Frame monster effects, because now they can't summon out their driver from the graveyard, and as well with that, they can't use Omega and Zeta's effect from the graveyard either, so that could be annoying. And then Mind Drain. This is actually probably one of the better cards because it negates all effect monsters in the hand. Oh, they can be activated. It doesn't negate them. They cannot be activated. But of course, they can negate that with a Epicillin. But then again, a lot of times they're only running 2 of him. But I have a feeling once Monju Spectres come out, which they're coming out in November, then more people will be playing Epicillin, however you pronounce it, that one. Definitely. And then Mind Crush, again, they're only running 2, so if you can Mind Crush the one they activate, then that doesn't hurt at all. So it probably won't be negated, and if you can get it off, it just gives you more advantage and makes it so your stuff doesn't get negated. Or at least I believe that's how it works. Summoning Curse, this can actually be very interesting, because it can get rid of their hand. This is a double-edged sword, because if you special summon, it happens to you as well. You would have to banish 1 card from your hand. So pretty much when either you or your opponent special summons it, you banish 1 card from your hand. But if you're not playing PSY Frames, then you can just set all your stuff. Like, you should easily be able to do that. Just get rid of as many stuff if you're playing Monju Spectres, or if you're playing Tellarknights or whatever. It shouldn't be too big of a problem just to get rid of all of your stuff. And even then, if you do have, and if you can, like if you have 2 monsters in your hand, then I wouldn't recommend setting, because you get to choose which card gets banished. So no point in putting down cards that you want to, like Rogeki. There's no point in setting Rogeki, really. But this would really hurt PSY Frames, because now they have to get rid of multiple. They have to, so the summon. So when they summon a PSY Frame monster, they get a card banished from their hand. When they summon from the extra deck, they get a card banished. and so that can be very annoying for them. But then again, they have Psychic Field Zone, and some also run another Psychic card that lets them add banished Psychic monsters to their hand. So it might not hurt them too bad. It will be annoying, and it can give you advantage, because if you can get rid of like these, you can get these guys to erase their effects and whatnot, and then go off. They might not have anything to stop you right away, or you might end up getting rid of cards like their field spells or overload or any other extra cards that aren't PSY Frames. Light Imprisoning Mirror. This can stop the Omega and the Zeta, and this could already be in your side for the Tellarknight matchup, so you can, if you don't want your stuff to be banished, this is a great way to keep these guys on the field, so that way nothing happens. Ojama Trio and the Kaiju and then Flying Sea are all good cards to just summon to your opponent's side of the field, and then boom, now they can use any of those PSY Frames. The only problem is that at one point you're gonna have to attack over these, so that way you can, well, go for game. But at the very least, you could try to like just activate Ojama Trio, and this is great against Burning Abyss too, as well, both Flying Sea and Ojama Trio. And then you can just like, if you might be able to wait a couple turns, which isn't good to do for PSY Frames because that gives them room to draw, but you could just wait a couple turns, set up your field, get out everything, and then try to go for one massive play. I'm not sure, does Overload hit any card? Yeah, target one card of field, so they could banish the tokens or the Flying Sea or the Kaiju, so Royal Decree, because this trap card's really powerful, like it is. So Royal Decree wouldn't be bad, but then again, Imperial Wall probably does it better. Debunk. Debunk is great because this is just like you activate this, Heliosyn doesn't do anything, it's a 1. Like these guys can hit multiples, but this card, but these cards can be stopped, but this card hits 1 but won't be stopped. So Debunk is definitely really good to have against them. Just banish it, which is I'd rather see the PSY Frame be destroyed than banished, but banishes it, so unfortunately that sucks. Prohibition, no, I'm not sure, because I feel this goes from judge to judge, because I've seen, it's really weird, but if you call PSY Frame Driver, so if you call the normal monster, I don't know if what they can do, because it says that card cannot be used. So they might be allowed to summon out the monster, because you're not technically using it, but I'm not sure if they could use the field spell effect to synchro summon with it, because that would mean using it. Because like I know, saw once here on Dawn of a New Era where somebody used Chandler to summon out a Dancer, and I called Dancer with this card, and the effect was negated. The guy couldn't move it or do anything with it, but he was still able to summon out a Dancer, or maybe he activated some other card. But yeah, so I'm not certain exactly how Prohibition works. It go from judge to judge. Some judges may say, yeah, you can activate the PSY Frames, and summon out Driver, he just can't be changed. He might not even be able to leave the field at that point, because being banished with these guys' effect would mean using him maybe. So it's just really weird rulings, but it's definitely, Prohibition is definitely a really good card. Maxi, the problem I have with Maxi in general is that you use this card to draw during your opponent's turn, which means unless you have hand traps, like unless you draw into a hand trap, which most of your deck is not hand traps unless you're of course running PSY Frames, it doesn't do anything, because like but because your opponent activates PSY Frame stuff during your turn, you can chain Maxi and just go plus off of it. They go Delta, you draw 1 off of them, summoning Delta and Driver, and then you get to draw 1 off of them using Circuit to make Omega or whatever. So you can draw 2 extra cards. Wouldn't it be too bad, and of course they would continue to negate stuff, so Maxi is definitely very useful. So I feel this is great, because being able to use Maxi during your turn is amazing. And then here's this card. This card I thought of last minute, and I'm not sure how it works. Like, this card really confuses me. But if you can take Zeta, use his effect, he should go to your opponent's banished, but then he should go to your side of the field during their standby phase, which means you get a free Zeta. Which would be really weird. Like, I'm not sure 100% that's how it works, but Zeta says Zeta and Omega, so you can take either one of them, says return them in your next standby phase, and normally that means they're side of the field, same position, same whatever. So if you have no monsters on your side of the field, they have a Zeta, or this card's set and you have no cards in your hand, you can just go take the monster and then use their effect. Of course, if you activate if they activate anything and they summon out their PSY Frames, they're going to summon them out in defense position, so that way you can't use Zeta on them. But if they then summon out another Omega or Zeta, and they activate that monster's effect, you can chain the Zeta to stop that, because Zeta and Omega have to banish themselves in order for the other card to be banished. So if like you can take a Zeta, and then you go, and where is Gamma? Yeah, Gamma here, and then you activate like some monster effect, and they go Gamma, they negate, they destroy the monster, and then they go and make Omega, and they activate Omega's effect. You can chain Zeta, they get rid of them, and you get a free Zeta during your next turn. And this Omega can't, like, it becomes a weird fight, because if he attacks, then you of course would use Zeta to get rid of him, but then you would of course chain Omega's effect to get rid of a card in your hand, which means you would get to keep your Zeta. So it just becomes a really weird scenario. So Mind Control, or actually I just remembered this, these guys, which are coming out in November, might not be bad, although like if you only had this card on your field, you could take a Zeta or Omega real easily. But these guys can be negated, as well can Mind Control be negated. Oh no, wait, no, if they have a monster on their side of the field, then yeah, they can't be negated. So these cards won't be negated. These guys are safe, because again, PSY Frames need a monster on this. They have to have no monsters on their side of the field to activate their effects, and these cards need a monster on their side of the field. So there should be no condition where this card can be negated. No weird condition. So you could use these guys or any of the other Great Old monsters to maybe take control of a Zeta or Omega, and then you just can mess with your opponent, and you should be able to get a free Omega or Zeta. It should keep on returning to your side of the field, because that's how I understand returning works. And that is it. Don't forget, guys, to post in below any cards that you have siding against them. PSY Frames are a really powerful deck right now, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they play. How they do against other decks. We're getting Infinity, we're getting Monarchs, there's going to be new stuff in Bosch, and of course Magi Spectres and Gradles are coming out in November. November 7th, we're going to be getting these guys. So it's going to be crazy, and of course Sneak Peek is on Halloween. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video this week and all of this week and the video here, and stay tuned for some more videos. I have no clue when next week's videos are going to be. I have no clue. I might do Kaiju, Yosenju. I think we'll do something Halloween-y, like Ghost Tricks. So hope you guys enjoyed this deck. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.